Alrighty, here is some of the different supports and things I've found for students with dyslexia. I found this presentation and this project really important because I do have a ton of students that have dyslexia. And so just finding different resources and things like that that could help them was really helpful throughout this project. So dyslexia is a learning disability that really causes students to struggle with reading, mainly in phonological processing and decoding, as well as word recognition. I have a lot of my students who do have dyslexia that tell me that the words jump around on the page and the letters jumps around on the page. And it's really hard to focus because the letters are mixed up everywhere. They read really slowly. They have low self-esteem. They get really scared to read. A lot of my kids that have dyslexia are very nervous to read, and they hate reading out loud. And because of the low phonics and decoding, they also really struggle with comprehension when they're reading it by themselves. A lot of them do still have verbal comprehension that's really good, but they're unable to comprehend what they're reading. So I found some resources for mostly elementary, but a couple of them could also be used in middle school. So the first one I found is an evidence-based reading instruction, and it's called the pridereadingprogram.com. And it just provides a ton of different resources. There's this 5-minute video down here, which we're not going to watch, but you guys can watch it on your own. But it just provides different reading programs for students with dyslexia. And I found that video really helpful. And there are several programs that I will try in the future. But there are 5, this website provides 5 areas that dyslexia instruction should be focused on, and that's phonemic awareness, systematic phonics instruction, fluency instruction, vocabulary instruction, and comprehension instruction. Then it also focuses on 4 ways that you should teach students with dyslexia. So it should be systematic instruction, and it should also be explicit or direct. So it's very easy to understand what is expected. And it should also be multisensory. So providing them hands-on learning, providing them visuals, auditory, all different types of learning to help them. And then that also should be diagnostic teaching. So there's this video over here that you can watch if you want to learn about some reading programs that will be good for students with dyslexia. The second website that I found was American University, and it's just a comprehensive guide. It provides everything. It talks about what dyslexia is, what are some of the symptoms and the common signs and stuff you see, and then it also talks about how to help. It really emphasizes the multisensory instruction, and then also the same thing about the explicit and the systematic instruction. And then this website also really advocates for assistive technology, so text-to-speech and speech-to-text, because obviously if students can't read, writing is going to be very difficult for them. So being able to, when you're not assessing them on their reading, they need to be able to have it read out loud to them. So on math tests, science tests, things like that, as well as giving them that extra time, because it will take them time to read and they will be super frustrated because the letters are jumping around or things like that. So this is a really good website that I found that had lots of resources and lots of information about dyslexia. The third resource I found I'm really excited about, and I'm really going to use it in my classroom. It's the Phonics Hero game, and it's just a very interactive platform. It's an online platform that provides different games and activities in letter sounds, blending, segmenting, and reading simple words. So obviously this is more for your younger kids, but there are definitely older kids who still could use this instruction. I mean, I have a going to be 3rd grader who does not know his letter sounds. And then I have a going to be 6th grader who this would be really good for her. Very dyslexic and very much struggles with reading. It's based on a synthetic phonics approach. And what's really cool is the games are structured to build progressively on the previous one. So if they learn a skill on the previous game and then they move on to the next one, it'll review that skill because they should already know that while also teaching them a new one. And it's also really good for educators as well as parents because it does provide assessments throughout. And then you can see the progress monitoring and you can see the progress that the student's making as well. The fourth one is Reading Rockets. This is a really popular website, but they provide a dyslexia toolkit. And it's a good thing for parents and educators. It provides strategies, tools, information. It also covers topics like recognizing the signs early on of dyslexia, as well as implementing reading interventions for them, and then utilizing those accommodations and modifications to help students in the classroom. And then for parents, it talks about advocating and navigating those support systems. So advocating for your child and what you think they need, and getting the necessary support that they need, which I thought was really cool for parents to have that resource. And then the fifth one, I just found a video of this lady named Emily, and she is teaching a student with severe dyslexia how some phonics instruction. And just watching this made me realize what I need to do more when I am teaching my students who do have dyslexia or I suspect have dyslexia. I just think it was really important for people to see an effective teaching strategy and how to teach dyslexia. Just a lot of repetition review, things like that. So that's a 5 or 6 minute video of this teacher providing this student with phonics instruction. And it was really, really good. And we're not going to watch it. And then here's my reference page.